Dr. T is in the house. Okay. I may have been talking about him a little too much, but is he totally up my alley, people? Dr. T, thank you so much for being here. You have no idea how excited I am. I mean, I'm a happy person, but I'm so happy right now.
Oh, I love to hear that. You're making my brown skin turn red.
I can't tell with the green shirt, so we're good.
I know. Hey, I just dug this out of my suitcase. So I've been traveling and I'm always kind of moving around, and I have property in Nicaragua, so I'm down there a lot. And I literally just pulled this shirt out of my bag over here and threw it on. So sorry, I look a little frumpy, but
wait a minute, come on.
I'm comfortable.
We coordinated the green. We did that beforehand, right?
Well, St. Patrick's Day was only a month or so ago. So yeah,
There you go. Now, let's start out with what I do with all my peeps. One word that best describes your past 30 days, what would it be and why?
Past 30 years is amazing.
Years, it was 30 days.
Yeah, well, 30 years. I'm just going to throw it out there because 30, it's been, it's amazing is how I wake up. Amazing is kind of how I think. We see stuff every day here that just blows your mind. You just can't it's just hard to wrap your mind around. And the journey here has been about 30 years long. And, it's, that's just the first word that comes to mind. I wish I had, if I had known what you did every time you get on here, I'd have planned, but.
No, I don't want plan. That's the whole idea. Yeah. I don't want plan.
Yeah, I don't like to plan either. I like to just have things unfold. But yeah, no, just amazing. I mean, who would ever have imagined, especially me, coming from a chiropractic family and a mechanic and somebody who's worked with his hands and has worked on equipment and animals and things all these so many years. To think that here I am now, I don't even see people. You're seeing this is my office. All right, here's my ship, my travels. Here's my couch. Here's my computer. This is where I work. This is how it is now, and it's every single thing you can imagine all around the planet. So I just never imagined this is what I would be doing. So it's so amazing is the right word. It's absolutely amazing to think that not only can I do this, but now I can show you how to do it yourself. I can teach you how to do this. I mean, it's really unbelievable.
You know what's the best part of that? How excited you are. I love when I have people on and you could see it's just for those of you who can't see him right now, you got to pop on so you can see him because the energy is just bouncing everywhere. How excited Dr. T is about what he's putting out in the world and what he can teach you. And that's the best part, because when you're so excited, you're like, okay, now what's next? All right. So we're going to just go right.
Yeah, exactly. What's next? You're right. I like that. What's next? I mean, that's next? You hit me. That's my catchphrase, I think now.
So big component on all that you're doing, but we're going to dive right into it because I have to tell you, I do have 5 angels. They're with me all the time. Now, they're not that serious. They laugh a ton. Everything is a joke to them, but they've been with me my entire life. So when they said working with angels, I go, all right, I'm there. How did that happen? Because I'm intrigued about I don't have to touch you part, but I can get there. Let's start with working with angels. And have you always had angels in your life?
Well, the story's out there. You could find it. I got shocked when I was a kid, and I was about 12 years old. I got shocked on the farm. I raised up out of my body. I saw the table. This is in like 1978 or 77, maybe even 76. I can't remember. It was so long ago. And I was a little kid. I was riding my bicycle out to go to this work on this farm. And I was the mechanic, it was the guy, and I was supposed to be out there plowing a field, and I hit a big stone with this disc. It's an implement called a disc. And the disc got bent, and I was like, son of a bitch, I just got up here, just got started working, 5 o'clock in the morning, and so I drove back down to the shed, and I got out the welder and dragged the cords out, and walked over to the machine, turned every switch up to full volume, and started to cut this disc off so to go back and finish plowing. And I reached across to move the ground. And the only thing I can think of is that it was really misty that morning. This was in Illinois. It was, I guess this would have been in April. And I got lit up. I got shocked. And so I drifted up out of my body. It's the classic story. I drifted up, and I kind of like I just looked down, and I'm looking at this table down there surrounded by doctors, and they're all standing over looking down. I couldn't really see who was on the table, and one of them kind of stood up, and I could see it was me on the table. I was like, what the hell is going on here? I think I just smoked my first joint maybe a week before that. And so I think I was just having a hallucination or something, I don't remember. I think I was 12, I was a little kid,
Yeah.
And they just kind of started shaking their head like, no, this is done, and this voice came in, and it was, stand back, everybody. And they all kind of looked up at the same time, and they're all just shaking their head. No, they're just saying no, is all they were saying. And I still didn't know what the hell was going on. I'm floating around going, what the hell is going on here? And this light was super bright. I couldn't see that it was an angel. I had no idea what the hell was going on. But a streak of light just came out of this. And she said something along the lines of, no, you're wrong this time. This one has to go back. Or it was something along those lines. I don't remember exactly, but it was it may have been like a feeling, may have been like a thought that drifted through my mind. Where she was like, hey, well, he's got to go back. And it was like a flash of light, and boom, I woke up on the floor, and I was smoldering. I was still smoking. I stumbled down to the milk house. My boss is down there. What the hell are you doing here, boy? Why aren't you up there plowing that field? He was madder than hell. And I got shocked, and I'm going home. I couldn't think. I could barely walk, and he was screaming at me the whole time. I got my bicycle and I rode off. I rode to town, and my father was a chiropractor at the time, and so I'm getting ready to come down the stairs. We lived in the house where my dad worked, and I was getting ready to come down the stairs. We'd always have to wait at the top of the stairs for the patients to move through. And the town electrician was in there, Dale Eastlick was his name. And he was standing there saying, Ron, you just got a bad son, Ronnie. You just got a bad son. He's just a bad kid. He's lying to you. There's no way anybody would survive 280 amps on a welder. It's impossible. There's no way he got shot. And of course, him and his son got in trouble like the week before for stuffing some overalls full of leaves and throwing it out in the street and making a car slam on its brakes. But of course, that was all my fault. Hey, Jay, if you're listening to this out there somewhere, that was your idea. And you got me in trouble. It wasn't the other way around.
So you can understand their thought process.
Yeah, exactly. So fast forward all these years later, we've all had instances of angels in our life, right? Every listener's had that. You've had that. I mean, it sounds like you've had it your entire life. Well, I didn't believe. I mean, I just didn't know. I mean, there wasn't an internet back then. I was out in the middle of Illinois. There wasn't hardly any books or anything worth even looking. I had no idea what the hell went on. Yeah, but I did know that other times in my life I've had near-death experiences, car accidents, motorcycle accidents, different things where I easily could be dead, and some miracle happened where I'm not, where I'm still here. And so, we've all had those instances, or, just being at the right place at the right time where something else happened somewhere else, you just never know. But we just always discount these, you can't see it. So you just don't, it was a coincidence. I'm moving on. Well, fast forward into my chiropractic education, a woman came in and her son was killed in a car accident the morning she was supposed to see me. 18-year-old son got broadsided by an ambulance, and she was very psychic. Yeah, it was horrible. So she comes in and she tells me the story. He got killed at 4:00 this morning. I was waiting to see him. I waited about 2 months to see him. She was getting better herself, had another son she wanted me to treat. Anyhow, she's supposed to bring him in that morning, and she shows up and he's dead. He says, yeah, he came and woke me up at 4:00 this morning, told me he was dead, that he was sorry, Mom, that he didn't see this ambulance coming at the stoplight. And I said, oh my God, he woke you up? And she says, yeah, he came right in my mind and shook me awake and said, Mom, I'm not coming home. I was just like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I just don't know what to say. She says, well, he's still with me. And I said, oh, wow, that's amazing. He said, yeah, he tells me you don't believe me. I said, oh no, I believe you. I'm wide open to this stuff. I just never met anybody who has a dead son talking to him. And she says, well, he tells me you're only going to believe me if I tell you you have a shotgun wrapped up in a camouflage jacket buried in your basement. And I said, what does he want me to know? Yeah. He picked the one thing. No one knew about that. The girlfriend I moved into the house with didn't know about. She didn't want the gun bought with that from the last house to this one. And no one knew about that. He picked the one thing that there's no way anybody knew about except me. I lied about the damn thing. That's how, I knew that what does he want me to know? And he starts in on angels and he wouldn't stop. It was like she was channeling. They've been following you. They saved you. First thing he brought up was that time when I got shocked as a little boy. Wow. He brought up all these different instances. I fell through the ice one time when I was a little kid, and I was ice fishing, and I should be dead. I should have drowned. I should have drowned first, and then I should have froze to death. But there was an angel there. My brother pulled me out of there and saved my life, basically. And there's other times he went through about I think he went through 8 lives. I have 1 left to go. I'm a curious cat. So, 9 lives. I got 1 more to go. But he literally went through all of them and just described them, stuff I hadn't even forgotten that I remembered once she told me. This went on for probably 10 or 15 minutes. And I said, well, that's fine and dandy. What the hell do you want me to know? And she says, there's angels flying around this house. If they brought you here, they're the ones that got you this place. They got it because there's all this nature outside, where all this nature, all this healing you're going to be doing, all the negative energy is going to be going off into this valley and carried off out into the mountains and out and away from Los Angeles. And I was in the north part of Los Angeles, had 40 acres behind my house, in the middle of 30 million people. I have this house with a 40 acre preserve behind it. And his explanation was, they brought you here. The house was already sold when I discovered it. I made an offer, ridiculously lowball offer, because the house was falling down. That's how I got it. He said, you didn't get this house because the owners are gone and the guy didn't want it. You got it because we arranged it. I mean, it was crazy what he told me. Yeah, I know. And so she splits. I never see her again. I have no idea whatever happened to her. I can't remember her name these days. And time goes on. I'm just kind of, well, how in the hell, I kind of ask them here and I ask them there, and I'm studying all these different techniques, all these different things. I'm just, going about my business, doing my practice. Probably 7-8 years goes by, and a woman comes in, a very powerful doctor woman comes in, and she brings me this old book, and it's got a chapter on angels and how to call them in for healing. And I literally, she's like, I want you to read this chapter. And I'm like, I have, this is it's okay. It's on your dime. I'm reading. So I read the chapter, and it wasn't very long. It was a few pages, but at the very end, it had a paragraph on how to call them in. You sit in a room and you get candles and you do all this stuff and yada, yada, yada. And I read all of it, and I finished. I said, okay, so what? And she said, well, I want you to do that. I said, I'm not going to do that. It's silly. That's not how I work. She said, well, I just want you to try it, ask these, just ask these angels, because it described how the bigger angels are busy, that there are a bunch of angels that aren't busy, and they're the ones that do the little miracles for us on day in, day out. And so they're not their archangels, they're the other angels that are out there. And so I just kind of had this concept in my mind, and I just did what I was doing, using intention, only focusing on this angelic realm. And we had a miracle. We had a miracle right in front of us. I mean, it was an absolute, I don't know how else to describe it other than it was a miracle. 10-second miracle. She was burning all through her whole head, through her esophagus, through her gastrointestinal tract, all the way out to the rear end. Just burning 24/7. And no one could figure it out. I didn't help her with all the stuff I was doing. No one could help her. And son of a gun, it was gone in 10 or 15 seconds. I mean, it's unbelievable. And so that was the start. So it all started there. And with all my other training, I've been looking at a lot of different disease causing things that just couldn't touch a lot of them. Just couldn't get them to go away. Couldn't convince the immune system to pay attention. Couldn't find the right herb. Adjustments, they don't do crap for this kind of thing. And so, well, they just don't. I think it's great. I love all alternative modalities. I love all of them. And they've helped so many people, and they've helped me. And but this is different. This is the stuff that no one can figure out. This is the stuff that's a little deeper in the mind and body, that's harder to get to. This is the past life stuff. These are things driving adverse emotional thoughts, self-deprecating thoughts, OCD tendencies, anxiety, depression, suicide, unrelenting pain, spinal stenosis, all the crazy, all the itises, arthritis, bursitis, myitis, myocarditis, all of these weird things that they have no answers for. That's what we're able to help. And so once I was like, okay, I'm doing this. Now I'm doing it on a daily basis. I finally walked out and, Jesus H, I can't believe it. Another miracle. She said, would you just shut up? Esther says, would you just shut up and get in there and do it? I mean, why are you questioning it now? So she was really helpful in just pointing out that, hey, now you've seen it enough now. You got to start having faith. And that's part of the training. We show you right off, we have you see it right away in the first hour. And once you see it, and you see it over the course of 3 days, everybody sees it, everybody's doing it. It goes from belief to faith. That's kind of, it's fascinating. So that's, sorry, long story, you asked.
No, we needed to do that to set it up. So let's go back a little bit. So it sounds like you went kicking and screaming a little bit, which I get, it took some years. When did you decide, okay, I'm going to now add this into my treatment and I don't even need to do it in person? Because that's a big one.
Yeah, that luckily for me, jumping to the remote stuff had already happened. So I was using a lot of intentional based techniques, and I saw it early on in my career. I had an instructor at a seminar do this weird thing. I was like, "What the hell is that?" And he says, "Oh, that's Rebecca in Tennessee. She has heart murmurs, and I just fixed them for her." I was like, "Okay, cuckoo, I'm out of here." Right? Of course, it turns out that's the heart meridian. This 92-year-old man adjusted on himself for this woman in North Carolina or some damn place, Kentucky, somewhere else. I was in California. And then I saw it again about a week later, some guy doing this in a corner. I was like, "Hey, you're working on somebody somewhere else." He says, "Yeah, it's all quantum mechanics, man." He's all stoned out. "Yeah, bro, it's all quantum mechanics. I check it out. Just don't tell anybody I'm doing this." I'm like, "Okay." I know. So I don't even remember what book it was. I looked at a few different books. There's there's a whole bunch of older stuff out there now. I don't even remember what I looked at, but I just looked at it. I was like, "Yeah, this makes sense." I think of somebody, they call me right away. I put a thought out and I need a parking spot when I get there. I'm running late. It's always there. All these little things. Oh, I need money. Oh, I mean, like we all have these wild things happen to us, right? I mean, my first house in California, I mean, I bought it with credit cards for Christ's sakes, and I needed $7,000 for the damn thing to close. And it was a estate sale. So I had to pay the closing fees. And I get home, I'm like, "How the hell am I going to come up with this?" I was tapped out. I have no one to call. And the damn phone rings and they want to give me $7,000 on a personal loan, at 55% interest or some damn thing. But I mean, this is just how life is, if you expect it. And so,
yes, if your eyes are open to it.
Yep, your eyes are open, your eyes, not mind and heart are open to, hey, this is an interactive universe. We get to play with this thing. So my first remote case wasn't even with angels. It was with different and intentional based techniques. And the very first one, we had a woman get up and walk out of a hospital 3:00 in the morning. She was supposed to have a quadruple bypass, an emergency quadruple bypass. They said she probably was going to die in the operating table. They were going to try and find a heart. But that was my first remote case. And so for 20 years now, I've been working remotely off and on. And about the last 5 years it's 90% remote. So it's all remote now. And it was about 6 or 7 years ago that I started realizing, wow, even these pain things, these strained muscles, these bad necks, TMJ, tendons, just back pain in general. All of these things we can fix with the angels. People don't have to be in front of you to fix it. I mean, I just worked on a woman in the UK. I fixed her neck, and she said, "I just can't. She was pissed. She was mad. I'm not going to repeat what she said, but she was so pissed.
Yeah.
She was like, "How is it you're sitting on a beach in Nicaragua, and my neck pain is completely gone, and it's all happening, and within a half hour, I've spent thousands and thousands of dollars on this thing.
Oh yeah.
For years to get rid of this, and it's gone. We don't even talk about it when I work on it every 3 or 4 months. It's a non-factor. We've completely fixed it.
Isn't that crazy? Wild. No wonder you get up excited every day and like it's amazing. Like,
no wonder I can't sleep.
You're like, wait a minute, I'm even amazed by this. So the biggest question I got when they knew you were coming on is, do you still recommend people to see chiropractors? Are there times when they need it? For example, this guy said, mountain biking accidents and all that stuff. Is there time for somebody that has to put their hands on you, or you don't need that?
I think there is. There is time. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I don't want to take away from anybody doing something. And I'm a maintenance guy. I go see a guy once every month or two.
Yeah.
I actually saw him this morning, and he's like, "How's it going?" I said, "Well, it's always going good. You know that. I'm not in pain. I don't have nothing going on. I'm doing great." And I said, "Perfect. Let's just do this." And I think it's good. Massage. I love massage. I get a massage every week. I try to make sure I get a massage every week. I love acupuncture. I don't do it as much as other things because I don't really like needles sticking to me as much as I like chiropractic or massage. So I see a chiropractor probably every two or 3 months, and I do a massage every week. I just think it's good to de-stress. I do all my own stuff, all the stuff that's on my website. It's all free for you guys. Go on there, and I mean, it sucks. You got to put your email in. Yeah, that my team's going to bombard you with emails. Just take your name off.
Oh well.
But go in there and get we have these free free phone calls coming up. That's where I demonstrate this stuff to 50 people at once.
Yeah.
You all get something. You can't believe it. Everybody gets better. Everybody. Even if they're some crazy long-term chronicity, they still feel better.
Yeah.
And then I try to narrow it down to get to those people is what I try to do.
Yeah.
There's a lymph video out there. There's heart resonance techniques. Everybody should do that every morning. There's a relax to heal, a hypnosis thing that I put together that's loaded with intention. It's not just hypnosis. It's way deeper than that. So it helps balance your parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system. It's all on the website. My joke is, hey, we're even giving away a free house out there somewhere. People are like, what? You're giving away a house? I'm saying, yeah, it's a mouse house or it's a bird house, but it's still a house. You know, I think I need to tell my team that, you know, we're going to give away a
mouse house.
Bird house. It's a mouse. Yeah. Hey, you know, you have to have fun in all this stuff, right? Even, we have to have fun.
You have no idea. So I have to just tell you this little story because most of my listeners don't know about it, but I definitely know this, of course, the right timing for you. So 2 years ago, my neck started really bothering me so bad that it was like this pressure in some nerves going up around my brain that I just couldn't move. I couldn't move. I didn't know what it was. And I'm a mountain biker working out. So I just figured, oh man, I've just been ignoring it. I haven't doing my preventative stuff, you know, and ignored it. But it got to the point there rushing me in an ambulance. Like I had no idea. And it was just all this pressure in my brain. I couldn't move. Well, for 6 to 8 months, I couldn't get off the sofa. Like I wasn't able to go to the bathroom. I couldn't drive. I couldn't exercise. Yeah, everything. But the day before that, I was in a conference in Colorado and the mentor said to me, what is it, Sandy, now that you've sold your businesses that you want in the next year? And I said, pure joy and freedom. And he says, oh, you're going to get it. I go, okay. Well, I got hit with this and I'm telling you, CAT scans, MRIs, no doctor could figure it out. And my mentor said to me, oh, I'm so glad this happened to you. I go, I'm going to kill you. He said, no, he goes, the universe couldn't have delivered it to you any other way. You asked for pure freedom and pure joy. And while I was in the state, the same thing is it came to me with my angels was like, Sandy, can you find pure joy and freedom if you're not having a bestseller, if you're not doing this, you know, besides what all the world's telling you to do, can you be able to tap into that on your own? And I was like, I don't think so. But at the end of the journey, I could feel this release and what I was supposed to do next. And it brought me to this physical therapist who I went, and I mean, like someone was carrying me in there. And she's like, you'll be fine. Trust me. Just give me a few, treatments. Well, she didn't want to tell me because she thought I wouldn't understand that she was tapping into higher source. And boom.
Amazing.
Isn't that like, and people for a year, like I couldn't work out. And everybody just thought, oh, Sandy's traveling, she's doing engagement. Meantime, I'm curled up. And they're like, no. But for me, the message, I was going kicking and screaming on the message. Why are you not tapping in more to the higher source?
Yeah.
I wasn't.
Yeah, all these things that we go through, whether they're good or bad, are opportunities for us to learn, to love and to grow. And so, you probably just have to go through. Now, next time, all you gotta do is call me.
I mean, I have to do. I don't know. I think that was.
I'm just going to speed it up for you. I'm going to speed it up for you because that's not my idea of joy or freedom.
Well, I think I had other things. The messages were coming in, but that being said.
Well, and certainly when you got out of it and you look back on it and you look back on that whole space, you can look back on it as, gosh, I mean, how great is it to be here? How great is it to breathe? How great is it to live and to love and to have this, this ability to be alive and also
because I never missed a day of work in my life. I never got taught. I was very fortunate. And I'm not saying I wasn't appreciative, but man, was I appreciative. But also, I think for me, which is a lot of questions, why are we so stubborn? Like, I believe in angels. I believe that we can tap into them. Sometimes we just try to muscle it and do it on our own. It's crazy.
I know. I don't. We're a stubborn species. Animals heal like that. It's so much fun working on animals, and they get better really quickly from crazy things because they don't have all the programming. We're programmed from the time we come in the womb where the programming begins. Everything the mother
Yeah.
hears, everything the mother does, everything the father does. Drive down the street today in Philadelphia or Los Angeles or any bigger city, and you've got 10,000 messages by the time you get home. And look at it. I mean, what a crazy time we're living in with this internet and instant access to everything. And
Yeah.
we're getting the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah.
We literally are being programmed, and it's just really good to unplug. That's another thing that relax to heal does. It unplugs you for a time. It teaches that subconscious to kind of start staying away from a lot of that stuff. It's everything in life is easier when we are relaxed. That's
Yeah.
the message. And but we are a stubborn species. The more we can let go, the more curious we can keep our minds being curious. Curious is a really powerful thing, the curiosity.
Yeah.
Because that opens you, that keeps you open. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've just, I'm guilty too. I mean, I'm not, I'm certainly not sitting on, I'm not pontificating. I'm down in the gutters with the rest of everybody.
Yeah.
And I've had to have my mind open to things. I just was like, no, of course global warming is, of course the planet's getting hotter. Well, son of a bitch, really? Is it? I don't know. I don't know. I think it's just a big cycle now. Now that some
Yeah.
smart people are like, Tony, it's a cycle. It's the earth is alive. It's living. Have you forgotten there were dinosaurs here not too long ago? Do we really think that we're having that big of that we're driving? Remember, it used to be warming. First, it was freezing back in the 70s. Then it was warming. We're going to boil to death. Then they changed it to climate change. And having these smart people tell me, hey, man, are you sure you're telling everybody? Of course, this is real. We have to do all this and that and that and this. And gosh, I don't know anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they
I like
forced me.
what you said. Curious. Be curious.
Yeah.
Like, don't be closed by. Listen.
Yeah.
Listen.
Yep. That really had to make me look at where are they getting all this information? Why is it that anyone who denies it or says, oh, well, maybe we should look at all of the science, they can't even speak at these conferences. It's this way and that's that way. And the science is settled, right? How many freaking times has science been wrong in our lives?
Or changed, right? I mean, it keeps evolving. What we believe then is not what we believe. Yeah.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. The teachers in school really didn't like me. They would always say, oh, I'd raise my hand. Oh, Dr. Cahill, let me guess. You want to know why? I'm saying, yeah, I want to know why. Look at the size of this book. It's all idiopathic. Are you kidding me? What are we doing here? I mean, and that's the truth. Pathology books are all 90% idiopathic. They don't know.
Yeah.
They have no idea. And so we are discovering why a lot of these things go crazy, especially a lot of the mental stuff.
Oh my God. Yeah. It blows my mind now how they hook people up to brain scans and they could see how the brain changes just with a little bit of meditation and relaxation. And they used to call me cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Like, how do you believe that? Well, I just know. I innately had faith and I could believe it, but I didn't have science. And now I want to go, see, aha, but I'll try not to.
I know.
So much.
Yeah.
So much.
I'm glad you're in Philadelphia. We'd probably destroy the whole town.
All right. So, big one. Got it over and over again. When you see patients remotely, we'll call him Billy Bob. Do you always bring the same tools or do some people get angels? It's not needed. I mean, is it a different technique for everyone?
No, it's always angels. It's always angels. And it's exactly what I teach. It literally, here's, I showed you my office, all the shit sitting around. Here's the manual.
Yeah, that was my favorite because of all the things I've had, no one's ever done that. So that's kudos.
Yeah, well, here's the manual. Here's what I teach you. And this is sitting on top of my desk. This is all I do. What I teach you is all I do. And it's not that much. Yes, I'm a doctor. Yes, I would consider myself highly educated. I wouldn't consider myself very smart. I'm a smart farmer, and farmers are really smart. It takes a lot of smarts to be a farmer.
Smart.
Yeah, it really does. You have to you got to know when to do things and how to do things and do complicated systems to make them easy. I have made 25 years of study very easy. We call it the roadmap. And everybody runs through the roadmap. We do it live so people who are getting trained actually understand what they're doing physically on the body. And then we just transfer it, and we say, oh, the body's not in front of you. How about we pull up a nervous system and we work on it? You know, you got somebody who can't think, can't speak, is depressed, has suicidal thoughts. You think the nervous system is involved? Of course. It's probably not where it starts. So then we just get another doctor bag. I call it my doctor bag, and we find the gastrointestinal tract, and we go here and we take a look at it. And so every single time, every single buddy, I don't do anything but what I teach you. And it's all angels. So yes, that is the answer. Yeah.
And I love the fact that you're saying you're teaching them how to do it. Teaching them how to do it, which is huge.
People who come to my class are already having all kinds of amazing miracles. I could talk for an hour just on what I think we've trained I think we're around 80 people, maybe 90 people. I mean, I could talk all hour long. My favorite one to talk about is a woman, a mother with a couple of kids who doesn't call me anymore. That's why I'm broke. That's why my shirt is not ironed or washed or clean.
Let's feel bad.
She doesn't need me anymore. It pisses me off. I'm like, hey, what do you mean you're not going to call me anymore? And that fills my heart with joy to not have them call me.
Yeah, it should.
Yeah, no, there's plenty of people. Everybody knows somebody who's sick with something that no one can figure out, right? Everybody listening to this knows someone who's sick with something that no one can figure out. Everybody. And that's what I teach you how to fix. I mean, even my chiropractor today, you know, he was like, well, my son's got this, has that, his knee, and this, and that. And this is when I was in the last couple months ago. And he wanted me to get him some patches and things that, you know, that are out there that do help with things. But I just tested him real quick, the son, remotely. I don't need his name. Don't need to know where he's at. Don't need to know anything about him. How am I connected to him? Because I know the doctor. And all he goes, like, can I get his son? Okay, I got his son. Will these patches work for him? I get very clearly a no. And is it effective? Yep, I get a yes. 21-year-old, they're talking about giving him a knee replacement because the cartilage is failing in his knee. Now he's 21. Do you really think that he's destroyed his knee that fast? Hell no, it's impossible. So what is wrong there? There's a bug inside there eating on the cartilage. Yeah. And I could fix that with one blast of angels in about 30 seconds, 40 seconds. And then all the other therapies will work. But even he was like, even he was like, oh, pathogens, oh God, okay, let's get on to the adjustment. I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. You know, I mean, I understand. It sounds weird. Yeah. But no one wants to look at cell wall deficient forms. No one wants to look at microscopic parasites or nanobacteria or mycoplasms, mold, fungus, and yeast that get into the body. Do you know antibiotics are made from mold? I didn't know that until I didn't know that. I mean, I knew it, but I didn't realize that's what's happening with most arthritis is it's from antibiotic use when you're a kid. Stays in the body, grows in the joints as you get older. We're able to wipe a lot of this stuff out really quickly. It's absolutely fascinating.
So let's back up a little bit for anyone who just go through a little bit more about pathogens for anyone who's not familiar with them.
Well, pathogens are, they're microorganisms. Yeah. We're full of them all the time. Yeah. Do you have viruses in you? Absolutely you do. Do you have parasites in you? Absolutely. I don't care how many, and people are like, oh, I took all the tests, all the stool tests, I've done all these different testing, and there's nothing there. That's because they're only looking for certain things. If they have a test for an amoeba, but you have an amoeba that has a deficient form in its cell wall because they had to change shape due to, say, antibiotic use or an antiviral use or drug use or some other reason, then that's not going to show up on a test. Tests are absolutely useless. I don't remember the last time I told someone to take either a blood test, stool test, saliva test, any test, because it changes all the time. They're absolutely
Wait a minute. Yeah. The only person that's validated me, I'm going to give you a virtual hug. Oh my God. And I just don't even tell my family because they get so mad at me.
Yeah. You can't tell people half this stuff.
I wouldn't take all the medicine they wanted me to take. I'm like, heck no. Finally, I found a doctor who's like, Sandy, go do you. But my family, they thought I was hurting them. You won't get better unless you take all that. Now, how do I explain to them, they already think I'm a loony bin, so
I just prefer to be a loony bin. I don't, you can't explain, you can't. I've given up on trying to have any convincing at all because I don't have. There's no reason to convince anybody.
I always tell people whoa. You mistake me for someone that wants you to believe how I believe.
Yeah,
No, I just want
yeah,
people who really want to listen to me. That's
yeah,
it. You don't want to listen?
yeah.
Oh,
Or
cool.
or at least just be open. I
Yeah.
did a podcast with a medical doctor a few months ago, and at least he was open. He kind of poo-pooed it. He kind of poo-pooed every chance he could. He poo-pooed. Oh yeah,
Oh,
Angels, you just lost 90% of the audience. And I of course said, well, I don't need 90%. All that 10% is fine with me. If there's 10% of
ooh.
us out there doing this work, then that's all we need.
Yeah.
And of course he had a bad shoulder, and he was open. At least he was open. And I said, well, why don't we take a look at that shoulder for you? He was in New York somewhere. I was in Prescott, Arizona, and we got 80% of it out. And he's a confirmed labral tear. Now, a medical doctor knows a confirmed labral tear is automatic surgery. How did we get 80% out of it then? Is it automatic surgery? It was all emotion. It was all emotion. So that's one of the things in the class I teach, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual healing, how
Mm.
to go after those four classes. And so as soon as I test him, he's like, what do you mean emotional? I'm like, well, I don't fucking know. I just tested you. I asked consciousness for an answer about you. I don't know. I don't know why it's emotional. So because we don't talk
That's 10
about it.
years of therapy. I don't have time for
Yeah,
that.
exactly. That's what he said. I got all this therapy. There's no emotion. I'm done with that. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, well, looks like there's a little emotion in there. Let's just treat it. So we did. And
Yeah.
if I remember right, it was pretty much anger. And he was a freshly anointed medical doctor who, they go through hell. I mean, with
Yeah.
chiropractors go through hell. People think that, you tell somebody you're a chiropractor, like, oh, poo, 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 depending on what part of the country, but we go through hell. It's a hard program. It's a lot of study. It's no cakewalk becoming a chiropractor. And I knew that. I mean, I didn't know. I just tested. I just do this testing that I show you, and sure enough, it was anger. Once we cleared that, I think we got 60% right off. Then I went after pathogens, 80% on a labral tear. That's a miracle. And he couldn't quite say it was a miracle, but he was like, hey, it's a lot better. I don't know what to say. I mean, yeah, I've never had anybody be so pissed off that they were healing. It was fun.
So pissed off that they were healing.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, because you have your belief system. I always say whether it serves you or doesn't serve you, you don't want to give it up. You don't want, oh my God, it's too funny.
You know something. You are educated, and you're sure, you're positive that this computer is solid, right? You're sure this desk is wood. We know that this house is built and it's going to be here through an earthquake. And actually, no, I'm sorry. I hate to break it down, but there's all kinds of space in here, and everything is moving all the time, and everything is vibrating. Everything has frequency. So we're even wrong about that.
Okay, so I just want to clarify something because you talk about your course. Do you just see people that don't go through a course, like like they come to you for one visit?
What I have is I have programs now. I have programs. I'm just too packed. I'm booked out months. I've got I don't even know. Our wait list is a couple of months long.
Okay.
It's really hard to see me one-on-one, but what I do is these programs. And so a
I
program
gotcha.
starting in like 10 or 12 days, it's 4 1-hour sessions. So it's 1-hour session per week for 4 weeks. It's called Crazy Unknown Shift.
I love that. I love that.
It includes supplements, because usually most people need about 2 or 3 things. I just figure out what each person needs really quick. But what it does is that it gives you, so we do a group session. So I do a group session because it's all vibration. So I do a group session, get stuff kind of cleaned up.
Okay.
Everybody's dirty. So I clean everybody up, and then I narrow down to each person. And it's unbelievable what can happen in 5 or 10 seconds. 30 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minutes. It really is unbelievable.
It must be so magical. It must be so magical.
It's amazing. You can get on, and if you have people out there who are sick, they can't get help from anybody, get on the program, because the program is the best way to see me. I think it's $550 or something like that. I mean, I charge $500 an hour is what my fee is when you see me one-on-one. So this is actually a way better way to see me, because you get 4 1-hour sessions. Yeah, you get 4 1-hour sessions, and my sessions are usually 15 minutes. And so that's the best way. But if you want a sampling of it, you just go on the website, and there's the first button says free live calls. And I think we're getting ready to do those again. And I mean, you want to see, I mean, we've had so many miracles on these calls that we've done. I mean, tons of miracles. We have a guy who's out there with some crazy disease you've never even heard of, who it's a death sentence. He's been alive for, I don't know, couple of years longer than they predicted he'd be alive. But when he got on the call, he's like, man, I'm going down. I can feel it, yada, yada, yada. He came back on the following week and said, I don't know what to tell you other than I've never felt this good ever since this started. And we're finding stuff in people that just, they just are unaware of. Are there bone marrow infections infecting your entire circulatory system? Yes. Can you have a virus in the eyeball or a mycoplasma or parasite in your eyeball creating floaters, creating blurry vision in one eye, causing dizziness or vertigo? Yes. Yes, that's what we're finding. We're finding these pathogens are everywhere and are driving all kinds of stuff that they just have no idea of.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So what does it mean by you said, I was reading your stuff and said, ask about demonstrating a healing blast.
Yeah, demonstrating a healing blast. You got anything going on?
Yeah, I do.
What's going on?
It's not bad, but my neck is acting up again because I ignored it.
Okay. Well, when you were talking about your neck,
I didn't know we were going to talk about me, but okay.
Oh yeah, no. When you were telling me about your neck, I couldn't, you can't help it. It's another thing I teach is what we call clairaudience, and that's out there. New Age people talk about it all the time. It's, you can call it whatever you want to, but as someone starts talking about things, you just start hearing. You just start hearing, and it's not a crazy voice in my head. It's just when someone starts talking about their ills, you just kind of start hearing what's happening. And so I couldn't help it. So I peeked.
It's okay.
Sorry.
I'm an open
Well, let's have you do this. Let's have you turn your head to the right and to the left. Is there a tenderness in there?
When I go to the left.
To the left, yeah. You don't have as much range of motion to the left.
Yeah.
What if you look up and then look down?
Yeah, it's just tender, but not horrible.
Okay, but it is tender, and it is
tender all up and down the left side.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, and it's tender when you look left, also, isn't it?
Yeah.
So this is interesting because it's not coming from your neck. Oh, it is coming from your neck. That's where the pain is, but it looks like it's more coming from just like the burden of life, and it's coming more from your shoulders. So I'm just going to have you take your right arm, go up like that, bring it down, your left arm up, bring it down, right arm down. Yeah, just do that for a second while we just bring these angels in really quick and just kind of open that up for you. Yeah, you got a little bit up there on top as well. And you can stop that and just relax. Just have you just take a breath in and just relax your mind as you breathe out. Really just kind of become quiet, get your body quiet for a moment. Yeah, you got a couple things going on here. So I am finding pathogens, and that's probably what locked your neck up to begin with. Some kind of, I don't know. I don't even look anymore. I just test to see if there's bugs. And then when I light you up with the angels, they either heat up or get condensed. It's like a cushion between my hands I can feel. And so we're actually going to clean you all the way up. You're going to be like this is something new that I'm teaching is you're going to be like a slinky. Doing, 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 doing.
I'm good with that.
I love the slinky move is what we're calling it. And it's pretty amazing. It works quite well. And then you have some past life stuff you came in with that's gonna need to be cleared up here in a second. But let's have you recheck it now, and then we'll clear that past life stuff. So look to your left, I think was the word, right? Yeah, well, that's more range of motion, and that's more range of motion. Is it still tender?
Yeah, but not as much.
Yeah, how much better? 30%, 40%, 10%?
It's about 40.
And then look up and down.
Right up is good, down is still tender.
Yep, down is the closing. C1 is closing on the occiput, and so this looks like this is it's a past life thought.
Ooh.
And an event also. So just give me a moment here. Let's have you take a breath in and a breath out. And let's have you recheck it.
It just feels so good. I'm looking.
I was just going to say the range of motion is way better from what I'm seeing.
Yeah, it feels so
How's the
much
pain?
better.
How's the pain now?
It's just a slight discomfort.
So it's at 80% now.
Yeah, yeah,
So see how, so do you think the past life thing was important?
yeah. That's wacky to me, and I do believe in it, but I don't know anything about
It's
it.
a vibration that can travel through space and time with your soul. It's a vibration. And what I did was, it's what I teach you in class is basically I have the angels have your soul, your spirit, literally take a look at all that stuff and let me know when it has it all. So we don't even have to talk. We don't even have to talk about it.
Yeah, that's
I
great.
don't even need to know what the hell it is.
I don't
Isn't that,
either.
yeah, right? Yeah, you don't either.
Unless I
But
was
you
a
have,
princess or queen, then I'm all about that, you know.
yeah. So and so for anyone who's listening, and for you, we're gonna do one more thing here really quick. It's just
Okay.
this takes 1 minute because we want to clean your blood, and so the blood travels through the body in 1 minute. And so you're gonna close your eyes, and actually take a look here. Take your right hand and go to your left armpit like that, right hand, left armpit, and drop your hand down about your breast height, and just press in there with a bunch of fingers like that. Is that tender right on that mid axillary line? You got some
Yeah.
tender spots there. Yeah, like ow, what the hell's that? Right? You can find a really bad spot, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
a
we don't
really
need to
bad,
go there.
yeah,
Yeah.
a
Ooh,
really bad, well, you can, right? Yeah, you
yeah.
find a real, you're like, what the hell is that? How
Yeah.
the hell does he know that? Well, this is what we do. Okay, so you can relax all that.
Okay.
And you're going to take a breath in and relax again, just get quiet. The angels do like us to have a quiet mind. I do find that when I have people take a breath or two in and out and just quiet their mind some, it just really helps the signal go through. And what you're going to do now is you're going to fill your heart with compassion. And everybody out there listening, just fill your hearts with compassion. Close your eyes, bring to mind where your heart is, and fill it full of compassion for yourself. Oh, yeah, everyone goes, wait a minute, what's that? Yeah, feel compassion for yourself, that warmth and love right in the center of your heart. It doesn't matter where you are in the world, or if you're listening to this 2 or 3 months later, this is full of intent. This broadcast is full of angelic intent. So there's that kind-heartedness towards yourself, and that warm-heartedness, tender-heartedness, that empathy for yourself. No one knows what you've been through in life. Only you know that the most, and you can have the most compassion and love and kindness for yourself, and leniency and mercy, right? All those good things towards yourself. Just being kind. And while we're here, let's just turn that vibration over towards appreciation for yourself. Things you admire, things you have gratitude for. You talked about that being sick and having, a year off in bed. That's not joyful and freedom. That's sick, but coming out of it, having that gratitude of, oh, thank God. We're such moment to moment species. We get out of pain and we forget about it a week later, a day later. It's crazy, but to wake up and to breathe and to wake up and to be able to appreciate a sunrise or a bird. I had an owl screaming at me last night to come out and help him. And I was like, oh, how nice is this? How lucky am I to be able to help an owl in the middle of the night? I couldn't even see him. It was so dark out, but just giving gratitude, things you cherish about yourself, things you treasure, things you have a high opinion of, having a hat tip towards yourself, and a gratefulness and a thankfulness for who you are and who you've become in life. And a breath in and a breath out. Now I'm going to have you check your neck.
I feel just so joyful. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, that's a powerful vibration coming through there. And see, and this is what happens to us people working on them. See, this is everybody listening, and you are all unwinding your dura, which houses sympathetic stressors in the body. So all the hair, if I had my beard, all my hair would be standing on end. Just feel all this energy. It doesn't matter where you are in the world, this happens.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you were going to just do one for the audience. This was like an extra gift.
Yeah, well, and the audience is out there saying the same thing. It doesn't matter when they listen to that. It's all intention. It's buried into the recording. It's buried into it's encrypted. It's a code, and it's an angelic code. And they come in, and when you are participating, that vibration comes in and is magnified a million times. And so that spot underneath your arm is going to be gone. You can check that again. That's all gone.
I'll find it. No. Okay.
Yeah, that's what people do. They're like, I'm going to find something, and then they poke right in that patelis muscle. No,
Oh my
you had
God.
it was a flat. Yeah, so yeah, and so you're going to find that you have more happiness and more joy around your life now, because that was your heart channel, and your heart channel is how emotion enters and access the body. So you're just going to feel more. Well, you'll just be more connected to nature. You'll have more ability to be connected and to give thanks, and you'll see things are going to change for you with just that.
Yeah.
It's fast, and that should have erased the rest of the brain, because that was pulling on all the tissues going up into your head. That should be it for your neck pain.
Woo! I love it. Virtual hug. Dr. T, I could talk to you forever, but we have to wrap up. It's so sad, but happy. But before we go, please tell them how they can find you and the programs that are coming up soon.
Well, it's all on ahumanengineer.com.
Okay.
Everything's on there. I have a whole team behind me. I got Jamie and Linda and Esther and Kiko and Courtney and Angie and all the Adele. I have all these people behind me doing this. I wasn't planning on doing any of this stuff. I wasn't planning on doing any of this stuff, but my clients kept pushing me, kept saying, when are you going to teach this? When? I finally got sick and tired of them. I was like, I'm just sick of the shit.
Yeah.
They literally, there's like 3 of them who just wouldn't leave me alone. I was just like, I just don't have enough to teach. You do have enough to teach. You have enough to teach. Well, once I decided to teach, everybody else came out of the woodwork, because I can barely get on a computer. I'm just really computer illiterate. I'm just not. I've never had an Instagram account or Twitter or any of that crap. Or I just got a phone a couple of years ago. So I have this great team behind me. They're the ones who do all the stuff.
Yeah.
And so it's ahumanengineer.com. Everything is on there. The programs are on there. If you need help and you don't want to wait, or you're just not getting help, we're out there, we're seeing people. I can't tell how many times people are like, oh, I have an acupuncturist. I'm like, well, but you're still depressed. Why? What good is it? If you're still having problems of seeing someone, get on these programs. It's the easiest, cheapest way to see me. The angels are waiting. They'll wipe whatever you got going on out, and then you can go back and do your acupuncture. I just have a true desire to not suffer. I mean, I've been through enough suffering, and I like seeing people live their lives. I love there being joy in the world. And so through the website is the best place. You can do the program or the training. We have a training coming up end of June. I don't know if we're going to do another one this year. So if you can make time, or if you have any interest in the healing arts, skip massage school, skip all the other stuff you're looking at. I'm not joking. Skip everything.
Yeah.
Because this is a fast forward. This is 25 years condensed into 3 days that you will walk out confident that you can help people with stuff like we just did for you. Wow. This is easy to do. A little neck pain like that. I mean, for us and the people in my class, that's
nothing. Yeah.
That's a cakewalk compared to what we've been treating. I mean, we've had this last class, I think we had 6 or 7 miracles, true miracles. I just got an email from a woman who left the class. They did an MRI on one of her breasts. They're getting ready to do a biopsy. Every single shadow, cyst, mark, everything they were looking for was gone. They canceled the MRI. Now, how many times do doctors cancel an MRI? They don't. So these are kind of the things that we see all the time. It's all on the website. Sorry, I told you.
No, you're so excited. No. I love it. I love it. I love it.
The last thing, Sandy, I can see who you are too. I see you, and God bless you for doing what you're doing. I know that we get off here and you go out into public, and you go somewhere. You love to make people laugh. You love to see joy in people's faces, and you love to spread joy. And I love to see that. And I love to see people like you, because I'm always drawn to someone like you, because hey, let's crack a joke and let's come up with something to put joy in people's hearts. And so thank you for all that you are doing and do out there, because I see it. And the more joy we spread, the happier we all can be. Right?
Absolutely. And thank you for saying that. All right, my let's keep it real people. Well, did he deliver what I promised and then some? So we both would appreciate you sharing it. There's so many people that could benefit from this podcast. So spread the word, like it, rate it. And until next time, you know what I'm going to say. Toodles.